Hi fight fans and welcome back to LL Sports TV. Hope you're all doing well. Jake Paul, aka the problem child, is what you might call a boxing enigma. He steps back into the ring this weekend. He fights Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., son of the legendary Mexican fighter Julio Cesar Chavez. Now, I've got to put my cards on the table and admit I'm not a big fan of Jake, the fake Paul. He's not a person who I particularly gravitate towards. But I'll freely admit he's a figure who sparks strong opinions. And whatever you want to say about him, I think you can say that he's a polarizing figure in the boxing game. For the uninitiated, Jake Paul. So he rose to fame initially as a Disney actor. Then he made the transition to a YouTube personality and later transitioned to professional boxer. Now, as a boxer, he has managed to draw massive audiences and generate significant pay-per-view numbers, far exceeding the numbers of many what I would call proper boxers. And today, I think he's been boxing for something like 5 years. In that time, he has a professional fight career of 12 fights, 11 wins, 7 by KO, and 1 loss. That was to Tommy Fury. But whilst that record on the face of things looks like a good record, which it is, it doesn't actually tell the whole story, because to say that Jake Paul's career has been carefully manufactured is an understatement. I mean, let's be honest, he spent nearly his entire career fighting a collection of non-boxers, mostly aging over the hill former MMA fighters like Ben Askren, Tyrone Woodley, Anderson Silva, or he's fought other internet personalities or sporting figures like Nate Robinson or Anderson Gibb. His most recent fight, and I use that term extremely loosely, was against former boxing legend Mike Tyson last year. That was an absolute and total farce, total car crash, which drew widespread condemnation, and rightfully so. It was terrible. However, it was, I've got to admit, an unqualified commercial success. I think it generated something like over $80 million, and it shattered streaming records for boxing fights. So I guess the question is Jake Paul a real boxer? We're still asking that after 5 years into his career. And this is the core of the enigma, really, because whilst he admittedly takes the sport seriously, I'm going to give him that, and I do give him credit for getting in the ring. I mean, I've been in the ring myself, so I guess I have to respect anybody that has the courage to lace up a pair of gloves and get in there. It's not an easy thing. Trust me, I can vouch for that. So I give him credit for that. I also give him credit for the fact that he appears to be taking the sport very seriously. He has a series of full-time trainers, some of them former professional boxers. He looks to be taking it seriously, like I said. He's shown that he does have some power. I mean, if you look at some of his wins, he's knocked out guys cold, and that's not an easy thing to do, trust me. So I'll give him credit for that. But many traditional boxing fans, and I include myself in that, still question his true boxing prowess, because he's simply not stepped up. He's not really fought anybody that I can beat anyway, anyone I can give him credit for. And let's be honest, the one time when he did dare to step up and take the sport seriously, when he fought somebody with a pulse, that was Tommy Fury. And Tommy Fury, no disrespect, he's a brother of Tyson Fury, but he's also a part-time boxer, if we're being honest. He's more of a reality TV star than he is a boxer. He's more known for that, certainly in this country, than he is for boxing. So Jake Paul fought Tommy Fury, and Jake Paul lost that fight. So, you know, that tells you a lot. And what also tells me a lot is that Jake Paul has never meaningfully sought to avenge that loss. He's done a lot of talking, but he's never really sought to meaningfully avenge that loss to Tommy Fury. Yet at the same time, Jake Paul is out there calling out the likes of Canelo, Terence Crawford, Gervonta Davis. He's calling out Carl Froch, even though Carl Froch is retired. And the call-outs have been characterised, I think, in a very disrespectful way, saying he's going to knock these guys out, he's going to do this and that. When we know, come on now, you know what I mean? It's if you can't even beat Tommy Fury, these guys' names shouldn't even be coming out of his mouth. So I've always been a little bit, I've always felt a bit of a way about that, to be honest. I think he's kind of treated the boxing game with respect. He's there shouting the odds, and he's not done anything. He's beaten a collection of guys that, let's face it, you know what I mean, most of them, like I said, are non-boxers, guys that aging, former MMA guys. I think he's taken up a couple of boxing guys, again, way past their best. So I think you can see where I'm coming from. He's not really proven to anybody in boxing that he's worthy of that standing. However, and again, this is where the Enigma comes in, from a business perspective, and certainly from a business acumen and a marketing perspective, you've got to give Jake Paul a lot of credit. What he's done has been undeniable. I mean, he's been able to generate buzz to promote his fights. He's built a brand. He's a master of self-promotion, and he's leveraged his fan base effectively. I guess you could also credit him for bringing new eyes to the sport. A lot of people have given him credit for that. He's also done, and this is where I will give him a lot of credit, he's also done quite a lot for women's boxing. He took Amanda Serrano under his wing. He's managing her. He's put on a number of fight cards, high-profile fight cards, with most notably Katie Taylor. He set up a company, MVP, Most Valuable Promotions, that he co-founded with a guy, I think it's called Nakisa Bedarian, and he's actively promoted women's boxing fights, bringing them to larger audiences. And yeah, so he's definitely helping women's boxing. He's definitely brought more eyes to that particular demographic. So you've got to give him credit for that. Yeah, I mean, the MVP roster, I think I'm right in saying he signed up some pretty big names. Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, Alicia Baumgardner, Ellie Scottney, Savannah Marshall, Chantel Cameron. All those girls are big names in women's boxing. And MVP Promotions have signed them all up, and they're earmarking fights in the future, which is, listen, that is very commendable. That being said, though, Jake Paul as a boxer, I'm not having that at all. I mean, he fights this weekend. As I said earlier, he's fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. on Saturday in Anaheim, California. Now, Chavez Jr., once upon a time, believe it or not, was actually a good fighter. I think he won a world title back in 2012. Defeating Andy Lee by 7th round knockout. But that was a long time ago. That was 13 years ago. And Chavez Jr. is now, I think he's nearly 40 years old. He's had a lot of problems outside the ring. He's been busted for peds. He's been said to have abused alcohol and recreational drugs. He actually spent some time in rehab. Actually not too long come out. He was beaten, this is Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he was beaten by Anderson Silva back in, I can't remember the exact time, but I know he was beaten by Anderson Silva, who of course Jake Paul also beat. So, you know, in many ways, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is a typical Jake Paul opponent. Aging, way past his best, had problems, and now all of a sudden, Jake Paul wants to fight him, a bit like what he did with Mike Tyson. So, you know, as I said before, Jake Paul is an enigma. Yes, you can point to a lot of things that he's done well. Like I said, he promotes himself well. He's managed to, barge into boxing and become a very high-profile figure, made a lot of money, has a lot of influence. But in terms of what he's done in the ring, I'm far from convinced. I'm yet to be convinced. I mean, listen, it's my contention, and this is my opinion, the first time he steps into the ring with a half-decent opponent, he will get embarrassed and knocked out. I honestly believe that. I've not seen anything that he's shown me in the ring to suggest otherwise. In terms of his fight this weekend, he probably will win it. I mean, Jesus Cesar Chavez Jr., back in the day, he would have starched Jake Paul, no doubt about it. But the man's nearly 40. He's had a lot of problems. He's not too long out of rehab. I doubt very much whether he'll put up much resistance, and I expect Jake Paul to win. But, he will win, and then the saga will continue. So, yeah, that's all I've got to say on that. Jake Paul, the Enigma. Let me know what you think. Are you bought into the whole Jake Paul story? Do you think what he's doing is good for boxing? How far do you think he'll go in boxing? I've said what I've said. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, really do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, I am out.